My name's Omar Rowe, and this is my profile.
How did you become interested in football?
I feel like it's something that was natural. Like it wasn't passed down through generation. My mum, she was an athlete. I thought athletics, more like running. So she wasn't really into football. My dad, the same. He wasn't really into football. But yeah, I think it's just something I did just to keep fit. Yeah, just something to do really. And then from there, I pretty much just carried it on.
What was going through your mind signing your first professional contract?
It was a good feeling. When I signed, I was thinking more like to push on and try and cement my position in the first team. Because when you sign a contract like that, it's like now that you took the next step after that is to be playing regular first team football, whether it's at the club or going out on loan, and you're just making a name for yourself. So that was going through my mind at the time.
How did it feel making your debut shortly after that?
Surreal moment. Definitely one of our best achievements, I would say. Like people tell you about making your appearance and playing first team, but like you can never imagine it to be as it is. Like when you go and actually do it, it's totally different to how people are saying it is. It's just a feeling that you can't describe, but it's a good feeling.
What's the biggest difference between men's football and youth football?
I'll say responsibility. I think when you're a youth team player or playing young football, it's about learning. So I think that's the time that you take to learn and develop your skills to take into men's football. So the quicker you learn, the quicker you progress. And in men's football, you're held responsible for your actions, basically. So you might play 25 minutes, 30 minutes, where you're not firing as you normally do, let's say in youth football, and the manager's like, all right, change, like substitution, and you're thinking you haven't even built into the game yet. You still got another 15 minutes until half time, and you ain't even given a chance to actually like build into the game or anything. And that's just how it is, because the manager, he's playing for his management team and him to stay in the management role. You've got other players that are playing to feed their kids. They get win bonuses, promotion obviously on the line. So yeah, responsibility is like the major key.
How was it playing football abroad?
It was different. It was good. I would say I didn't expect the tempo to be as high as it was in English football, but yeah, I went there with I wouldn't say a small mindset, but like I didn't go there with the mindset that I should have gone there with. But then obviously after going there for a short amount of time, I realized that the tempo ain't something to play with, and it's definitely something that should be taken serious if that's something that you want to do. It's like if you go to a job and you leave a job and go to another job and you don't give your all, like they're just going to find someone else. So it's the same with football. If you go from team to team, and just because your team is higher that you left and you go to a team that's lower and you don't take it serious, then you're not getting your work that you're meant to get. It's not benefiting anyone. You're not benefiting yourself at the end of the day. So I would say that if when you go from team to team, or whether it's up or down, just give it 100%, man.
Was it hard adjusting to that new environment?
At first, a little bit, yeah, because I feel like when you go and you're alone, and especially when some players or people don't speak English, it's a bit difficult because you have to find a way to communicate as well. So I feel like I was having to try and communicate with others. Like, let's say I needed a lift in the morning to get to training. I would speak to someone English, but then someone else would call me, and I would have to try and work my way to speak to that person. And it did work out in the end, but it was difficult. But apart from that, and yeah, like when I was playing, like, let's say some of the fans or some of the opposition players, subs, I wouldn't say manager as much, but yeah, it was a bit of like, let's say, like race, not, yeah, kind of like racist basically, because they will say like black this and black that, and like, obviously it's not nice when you're in England and you don't really hear it like that, and then you go abroad and like that's like something that you hear on a weekly basis. Like it's something else, because then like you don't really know how to deal with it, because at first, like when they used to say it, automatically I'm angry, and like sometimes I do want to fight, but then I'm like, I'm here to play football and that's my main focus. Like, just try and focus on playing football. And I will tell like the manager and some of the players, like, can you speak to them and tell them like to not say this, because like I don't describe anyone by colour. Like, I wouldn't want to be racist to anyone. That's not how I go about things. But there, it's just like that's how they do things, and I don't feel like that was right. Especially not being warned as well. So it was different coming into that environment straight away, and then having all of that being said, and them making like silly noises as well. Yeah, but other than that, I feel like after like 6 months to, I would say 6 months to 8 months, I feel like I started to adapt a bit more. People were saying racist stuff, and I didn't really take it to heart. I feel like some of my goals kind of did like quiet them down a little bit at first, because I would give them the celebration. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
How do you feel about how racism is dealt with in football?
I don't feel like it's dealt with well enough. Because I feel like if something happens over and over and over again, it's not properly dealt with. Especially that it's happening within a top flight football as well. The other day I see someone get a 10-game ban, which I don't feel like it's enough. I feel like it should be maybe a 5-year ban, a lifetime ban, something more, so that players understand that this is not a joke anymore. Like, literally, if you say this is what happens. And like, if you think about 5 years, that's someone's, let's say if they're 20, that's basically half of their career basically done now, just because of something that they said. So I feel like it gives players a more responsible role to be like, look, we shouldn't be saying stuff like this anyway, but if someone does say it, then they know the punishment that they're gonna be given. I feel like it should be a bigger punishment for racism.
Has moving from club to club discouraged you in any way?
A little bit. I feel like that's partly based on the choices that I made, the agents that I've chose as well. But I feel like going from a higher club to a lower club, the feeling's never going to be good because you feel like you should be playing higher, and going to the lower club, you feel like that's not your level. Maybe you might not be playing that. You might not play as well as you was when you was at a higher club, just because of the level it is, and you're a bit disheartened at the fact that you're gone lower. But I feel like I have adapted well to going from higher to lower club. I've always showed that I can play higher than the level that I'm at. I feel like there's always another gear to me as well, whether it be the first minute or the 90th minute. And yeah, I feel like I'm always going to push to play top flight football until I can't even play football anymore.
Do you have any regrets in your career?
No, I wouldn't say I have regrets. I feel like everything that I've done, I'm pretty much not. I would say I'm happy with what I've done. I could have done more, and I could have made better choices. But do I regret the things that I've done? No. Like, if I had to choose between playing or going to another club or travelling abroad and do what I did, I would say to do what I did, just because it was a different experience, and it helped to mature me as well as a person. So I feel like I've learned different things along the way that I wouldn't have learned if I went down a different road, and I wouldn't have understood. So I feel like what I did benefited me in different ways than I didn't think that I would have benefited going down a different path.
What advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
I would say to just keep working, keep doing all the right things, try and do extras as much as possible, take care of your body, whether that be with rehab, with ice baths and warm baths, massages, stretches, and food, diet. I think it plays a major role in terms of sport, and looking after your body. Because if you want to play in the sport a long time, you have to look after your body, and it's the most important thing you can do. Investing in yourself. So I'll say definitely to invest in yourself, and you can go far, man.